Hi.
My name's Reagan. I am a student social worker here at SEMO. What is your name?
Mary.
Mary, nice to meet you. My pronouns are she, her. Do you have any that you would like to go by?
She, her.
And you want to be called Mary?
Yes.
Okay, just to make sure. So basically this meeting will last about 15 to 20 minutes. I will be keeping track of the time. What we're going to do here today is see if my agency can help you at all, see what we can do, and if we cannot help you, we will look into other agencies that we can refer you to.
Okay.
My role today is I will be taking a few notes. I will be keeping track of the time just to make sure that we don't go over anything. My notes are for you to look at if you want to make sure I get everything correctly, just to basically make sure that I'm hearing everything correctly. But again, I'm just here to listen because your role here today is to basically just tell me a little bit about your situation, whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever you want to share with me. I will be asking a few questions, but if you don't feel comfortable answering those, that is totally okay. There's one big thing I would like to go over. Those are the client boundary professional relationship. So basically what we're going to do here today stays in this room. So say I just see you at Walmart or something. I'm not going to come up to you and say hi to you because again, I'm here for your confidentiality. That is important to me. And so if you want to come and say hi to me, that is perfectly okay. I will say hi back, but your confidentiality is very important to me, and what we talk about in this room, I will not want to talk about in public because there's plenty of ears in Walmart, as we know. And so, my supervisor, he talked to you about our agency's policies.
Yes.
And do you have any questions over those?
No.
Okay, perfect. Another thing I would like to say is I do talk with my hands a lot. If that's a problem, I will keep them to myself, but is it okay?
Yes, of course, yeah.
All right. Do you have any questions? I know that was a lot. Do you have any questions over what I just went over?
No.
Okay, perfect. So tell me a little bit about your situation.
So, about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, I was coming back from class and I went and looked in our mailbox and I saw that we had this envelope with like a big red stamp on it, and it basically kind of like made me a little shocked. I was like, I don't know why we would have something like that in our mail.
Yeah.
So I thought it was just like spam mail or something like that, but I went inside and I opened it, and it basically said that we hadn't been paying our electric bill in like 3 months, and I was really confused because I live with 4 other girls, so there's 5 of us that live in a house, and we all have a job per utility for the house.
Okay.
So my job is to take care of the water and everything like that, and then my friend Lacey is in charge of our electric bill, and I went to high school and everything with her, so I knew that she was responsible enough to do that. So it was a shock to me whenever I saw this, so I called my parents and I asked them if it was real, because it could be just spam mail and someone trying to make us send them money. But I was really confused, and they were like, no, like that's real, you need to find out what happened. And so the letter basically said that if we didn't pay from that 3-month time until now, then I wouldn't be able to have, like, we would get our electric shut off or we would have to move out. And I was so confused because all my roommates and I have been paying her for the past 3 months our part of the electric bill, and so we were really confused why I hadn't been getting paid. And now I'm just really stressed that I'm gonna have to move out of a house because I wasn't really planning, like that wasn't really on my agenda to do for another year yet. So now I might have to find another place to live, and I'm not really sure what to do.
Okay, I'm so sorry to hear that. So I saw that you were like touching your face. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes whenever I get anxious and stuff, I just try to, like, I don't know, hide myself some way. That way, like, people don't notice that something's wrong with me, or I try to distract myself from the problem.
So I heard you say that you were feeling stressed about the situation. Tell me a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, it was very stressful for me because I didn't realize that I would have to start potentially looking at houses, and it's November now, so I didn't think that I was gonna have to start looking for a house until the end of the school year, and now I'm really stressed because it's starting to take a toll on me with my schooling and my work, and it's I feel like it's actually taking a really big toll on me because I wasn't expecting this. And all the girls that I live with, we've been friends for almost 3 years now, and they're definitely someone that I thought that like they were responsible and whatever, and that's why I wanted to live with them. And they're like my biggest support system with me not living with my parents anymore and whatnot. So whenever I found out that one of them is gonna cause me all this trouble, it's kind of hurtful, and I think like, I don't know, it's kind of inconvenient too.
Yeah. So I heard you say that this started a few weeks ago when you opened that envelope.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done previously to try and solve this problem?
So, like I said, the girls that live in the house are my biggest support system. So whenever I found this out, I talked to the rest of the girls besides Lacey because I didn't know if they knew something that I didn't. So I confided in them because they are my biggest support system.
Yeah.
So I was talking to them, and they said that they didn't know about it either, and that they too have been paying her. And so we haven't done a whole lot to figure it out, but since we are fairly new to living on our own and adult life, we're not really 100% sure like what this all means.
Yeah.
So that's why I came here today, and I've also talked to my parents about it because they were once in college too, so I don't know if they had gone through something like this, and I feel like they also are a little confused. But I think all in all, we haven't done probably as much as what we should be doing, but we definitely are trying to seek out help because we're not really sure what's going to happen.
Yeah. And earlier I heard that you said you were anxious about it. Does that have to do with anything regarding your relationships with your people that live in the house?
I would say for the most part, I would probably be a little bit more anxious if these were people that I didn't know, but I would say living with the people that are my biggest support system, it's a little easier. But since Lacey she still is one of my closest friends, but since she is kind of the reason why I'm a little anxious, it's been a little difficult to live with her because I know that she's been doing stuff that she knows that we would be upset about, and I just feel like she doesn't really care. Otherwise she would like talk to us about it. So that is kind of a little anxious, and I'm like losing sleep over it, and it's definitely taking a toll on me.
So I heard you're losing sleep, so that definitely is something that you're worried about.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm a full-time student, and I think keeping up my grades, because I am getting into the final like semesters of my class curriculum, so I think it's really important that I keep my grades up. But with not getting enough sleep and constantly being surrounded by a problem like this, I feel like it's really hard for me to sleep, and then when I don't get enough sleep, I kind of get cranky, and then I'm not very I guess progressive throughout my day, so that's really hard.
Yeah. I heard you say earlier that you called your parents about this. I think that is showing how independent you are, because even though that you called your parents, I think that you know when you need to ask for help and stuff, and I think that's very good of you to ask for them. So I heard you say earlier that she did this a few months ago, and she's been asking for money. Are you worried that she's using the money for other things?
Yeah, I am, because she's definitely one of my more sociable friends, and she's always asked me to go out with her, and she does go out quite often, so I am worried that she is spending it out on like alcohol and stuff like that. And I know too that, she's in the same boat as us, like we're in college, it's not like we have a ton of money to do stuff. So I am a little worried that she's getting herself in a lot of trouble, and I am also kind of disappointed in her that she's spending my money that is supposed to be going towards a utility towards something else.
I heard you said that you are disappointed in her. Can you clarify that?
Lacey and I have been friends since high school, and she's always been very responsible, and her and I think bonded over both of us being responsible, and we had like a mutual respect for each other because of that. And so I was just a little bit disappointed in her because this is not only my money too, but it's all of our new friends from college's money too. And I don't want her, even though we have been friends for a long time and I don't feel responsible for her, but I definitely do feel like she's getting in herself a lot of trouble, and I know that she's better than that, so
Yeah.
it is a little disappointing.
Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear about that. So, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being not too bad, 10 being like the worst thing ever, what do you think you are on during this situation?
I would probably say a 6, just because this is something that is affecting me like daily now, because I mean I go home and I don't know whether I need to start packing or whether or not I need to be working more because we can't pay our bill. But it is, I would definitely say a 6 because it is something that is affecting me and my roommates, so we're all just kind of on the edge right now, and we're all definitely a little anxious about it. And it is affecting other people besides us, like my parents, and it's affecting my schoolwork, so I would say that it's definitely affecting my life a lot more than what I thought it would.
So I heard you say that it is affecting your parents. Is it affecting anybody else?
Not really. I do have, like, all the girls that I live with are in my sorority, and I do have a lot of girls that I don't live with that are friends with me, and I have confided in them a little bit, and they definitely feel sympathy for us, but besides that, not really.
Okay. So earlier you said that there are 5 girls living in your house, and you've known Lacey the longest?
Yes.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit more about your relationship with all of them?
Yeah, so Lacey and I have been friends since high school, or elementary school even, so we joined the same sorority together, so I definitely know her pretty much inside and out. And as far as the rest of my roommates, we've been friends since I moved to college. I mean, we're on the same sorority, and I do really like them. They definitely share a lot of the same values and stuff that I have. So that's why I wanted to live with them, because I wanted to surround myself by people that made me feel good about myself, and vice versa. So I think that whenever I did open up that envelope and I did see that Lacey hadn't been doing her part, it took me by surprise, because like I said earlier, like she and I have always had like a mutual like respect for responsibility, and since she hasn't been being responsible, it really shocks me. And now I'm starting to worry that some of the other girls in the house aren't doing their stuff when I know that they are, but I just feel like Lacey's causing me to have these thoughts towards like my other roommates now, and now I kind of want to just text them and be like, well, are you guys paying your bills? And I don't want to be that annoying roommate. So
So just for clarification, can you tell me a little bit more about each person's role is regarding bills?
Yeah, so my role is the water bill. I always make sure that we have it paid as soon as possible, because I don't ever want to not have it paid, because we use water all the time for showers, toilets, etc. And Lacey's is the electric bill. And one of my other friends, Addie, she's in charge of our groceries, and usually we didn't want to do that, but Addie's really good at planning stuff out. She's really good with making sure that we don't overspend on something. And my friend Paige, she's in charge of contacting someone, our supervisor or whatever, when we need to get that fixed. And then my friend Anne, she usually does stuff with like chores and stuff. So like hers doesn't really involve money,
Mhm.
but she makes sure that everyone's accountable for doing their stuff to keep our house perfect, so we don't have to pay for anything if anything gets broke.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. So I think this meeting unfortunately is about to end due to time. Basically, before we close this meeting, I want to give a brief summary just to make sure that I have everything that I need to know to see or to know more about your situation. So basically, you opened a letter in the mail, and it had like a big stamp on it, and you opened it and it said that you were months behind on your electric bill, and you're worried because Lacey is supposed to be the person paying for it, so you called your parents, and your parents were like, no, that's real, you have to make sure you get that under control. And basically, you're just worried overall that you don't know where you're going to stay after this, and you don't know if this means eviction or just the electric being turned off, and you don't know how this is going to affect your daily life after this.
Yeah.
Was that good?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad. So before we go over any tasks that you would like to do before we meet again, would you like to meet again?
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
Next week work okay? Any
Yeah.
specific time?
Next week, Thursday, probably around 1 again would be good.
Thursday at 1. Okay, perfect. Let me write that down. Alright, and so was there anything that you would like to look into before we meet again?
I should probably just lay out my options of whether or not if no matter what happens, I should probably have a backup plan and talk to my parents about that. And also, my roommates and I should probably confide in Lacey and just say and ask her like what's going on, if like something is going on, and if we can help, and why she hasn't been paying the bills.
Okay, and we can definitely check in, see how far along you are with those when we meet again. And is there anything like you want me to work on before we meet again?
Not as of right now.
Okay, alright, and do you have any feedback about how this meeting went so far?
I think it went really good. I think it's always nice to have an outsider's perspective,
Yeah.
and it was nice talking to someone.
Thank you. Do you have any final questions for me?
No.
Alright, so I will see you Thursday at 1 next week, and we will get in touch soon. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.